I rise at probably the most challenging hour this evening, Mr. Speaker, right after dinner, when the natural biological functions would be digestion and it might be difficult to gain your attention. But I will do my best, Mr. Speaker. But, Mr. Speaker, it's with a deep sense, profound sense of conviction that I rise in absolute support for this budget. I extend greetings to you, to the Honorable Prime Minister, to all my colleagues in this distinguished chamber, everyone invited, those listening, those abroad, and most importantly, Mr. Speaker, the wonderful people of the Great Mao constituency that I have the honor and privilege to represent. Indeed. Mr. Speaker, every generation is tested in one way or another. Some generations have been tested by war, some by economic collapse, some by diseases, storms. For us, it somewhat seems like we've been tested by all. These are uncertain times indeed, Mr. Speaker. Perhaps the most persistent test is that true uncertainty that we all face. I speak of the price of food, the cost of fuel, Mr. Speaker, whether it's a small business trying to survive, whether it be a single mother trying to meet the cost of goods and hoping that the salary that she gets can take her throughout the entire month, Mr. Speaker. These are the challenges. These are the challenges that our people face. Young people trying to find jobs, those who have returned from school, studying abroad, or even locally, trying to find that satisfaction, Mr. Speaker, after they have made huge sacrifices. These are the challenges. But, Mr. Speaker, this government has proven time after time, year after year, its ability to endure. You've heard the chronology of events from Honorable Dr. Vince Henderson earlier, Mr. Speaker. And if anybody who listened, Mr. Speaker, without a doubt, they would have been convinced. This is the true test of endurance. This is the perseverance, the persistence of this great Dominica Labour Party administration. The question before us, Mr. Speaker, it's not whether these times are uncertain or whether uncertainty really exists, but it's how we navigate and we respond in these uncertain times. And this budget is therefore government's answer to these uncertainties. This budget is a statement of values. It is what the government believes is protecting our people. It is what we believe is worth fighting for. And I support this budget wholeheartedly. Mr. Speaker, the economy that we speak of is the farmer in Warner, the one in Campbell, the one in Bells. And I know Bells is not part of our constituency, but many of our farmers, in fact, farm in Bells. That's right, I'm Hendo. That is right. Or even worse, Mr. Speaker, when we speak of the economy, I think of my dear friend, a farmer, who spoke to me as recently as last week, and he said, "Pal Rep, I have to farm for the Guti too." And I say, "What are you talking about?" "Well, I know the Guti eats my pumpkins, but what are you talking about?" He said, "The Guti eating everything, Pal Rep. The only thing it doesn't eat is the yellow twine, the cord that tie in his fig." So I say, "Okay." And he said, "You know why it's not eating it? Because the Guti climb in the rope, the twine, to eat his fig." Mr. Speaker, these are the challenges that we face. It's not just climate, it's pest. It's all types of various circumstances that our hardworking people are up against in these times. And that's why I see this budget as an answer, a profound response to many of the challenges that our people face. And I was very excited on Tuesday after hearing the address by the Honorable Minister for Finance. And I was so moved, I proceeded to have a meeting at 6 o'clock with some of the farmers of my constituency. We left there in the afternoon. By 6 o'clock, I had a meeting. And it was my pleasure and distinct privilege to tell them that this government, by way of this budget, strategic interventions, we are able now to afford crop insurance valued at $1.5 million for them in the next year at no cost to them. This, Mr. Speaker, is a strategic intervention. Mr. Speaker, the economy is for the elderly citizen who has worked hard and now has to decide to make decisions that affects mere dignity. This is what this is about. A few weeks ago, I spoke to a fisherman in my constituency who wakes up very early before sunrise to go out at sea, having to spend quite a bit for fuel, $20 thereabout for fuel for 1 gallon. And he is trying to juxtapose having to go out, having to recover the cost of fuel, and trying to understand whether after making that huge sacrifice, he will be able to recover cost. It's not that the sea does not have fish. That's not the issue. But will his catch be sufficient to recover his cost? These are the everyday challenges. So we are not talking about someone who is not willing to work, who is not willing to endure, who is not willing to show up. It is someone who has to take calculated, measured risks, Mr. Speaker, in the interest of work, in the interest of providing for his family, but having to ensure that he does not end up poor. So we understand, Mr. Speaker. But for us, Mr. Speaker, this is why we have responded in this way with this budget. It is a budget where through our measures, our strategic interventions and measures, Mr. Speaker, we're able now to provide a financing facility of $19 million at the Aid Bank, a 3.5%, 6-month grace period for micro, small businesses and our entrepreneurs. And this has proven to work. The last facility, in the last fiscal period, over 500 people benefited, Mr. Speaker. And we're able to see that many of them are able to have new buses on the roads right now, and to have serious capital injections into their businesses, having better quality products on their shelves. This is what this is about. This is how we are responding. So to my dear friend, he was a former NEP beautification team member, a swiper operator, as we call him, Mr. Speaker, was able to save his money over the last period and to purchase a bus. Young man from Mao, elevate and buy his bus. And this is graduation. This is someone, Mr. Speaker, who's been able to take what he's been afforded, to save it, and make strategic decisions, Mr. Speaker, to invest and to own his business today. Because having a bus is really, in fact, operating a business. But he faces a challenge. As recently as 2 weeks ago, having an issue with the transmission of his bus. $4,500 the bill to repair. And having to make that decision as to whether it makes sense to repair that bus for $4,500. And how long would it take to recover that cost? These are the challenges that some of our people face. And not only that, it's a 15-year-old bus, third-party coverage. He has a 15-year-old bus, third-party coverage. Having that fear, Mr. Speaker, embedded in his consciousness as to what could one mistake, error, or accident mean to the sustainability of his business. This is what this budget responds to. So, Mr. Speaker, through the interventions, through this budget, by way of the measures, removing the compounding, Mr. Speaker, of VAT, a young man like this now may have the option to consider having a bus, Mr. Speaker, that is younger, one that will be cheaper to operate on the road, one that by virtue of its age, he can now approach an insurance company and have it covered fully comprehensive, Mr. Speaker. This is what we are affording to our people, an opportunity to have a better life, a better future, more security, and remove that sense of uncertainty that pervades. This is what this is about. Mr. Speaker, the world is becoming tighter. It's difficult for small island developing states. We all know that, Mr. Speaker. And when we speak of global shocks, exogenous shocks, these are words we have heard in here. Mr. Speaker, it's not something that's distant at all for us. We feel it right away. The cost of goods, cost of services, Mr. Speaker, spare parts, fuel, everything. We feel it right away. And the government, while we, Mr. Speaker, cannot order or dictate these prices, the cost of freight, the cost of oil, Mr. Speaker, what we can do is to reduce the cost on our end by way of reducing the pressure, adjusting our systems, Mr. Speaker, the taxation reforms, and this is what we are doing. We can protect essential goods, Mr. Speaker, and have the opportunity to afford our people more disposable income that they can make decisions to empower their families and secure their future. And this is what we are doing. And this is significant, Mr. Speaker. The customs reform that was announced in this budget is something that is truly moving, Mr. Speaker. Removing tax upon tax, Mr. Speaker, that compounding effect reduces the amount of the price, Mr. Speaker, on the shelf ultimately. And this is something that can translate directly to cost savings for people, money in people's pockets. And not only that, Mr. Speaker, as you have heard, we are continuing for another 2 months the zero rating of VAT for the basket of goods, about 13 or so, as you would have heard, household items that are essential, that we have deemed essential for survival, Mr. Speaker. And this is something we are continuing because we have seen how this has helped people, how immediately after issuing this measure, Mr. Speaker, by waiving this tax, that this has translated to cost savings for people. And this is what this government is about, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I would like to speak directly to the importers, of course. Like you've heard from the spot checks that Honorable Henderson would have spoken about, there's a high degree of compliance, and I sincerely appeal to the greatest sensibilities to continue to translate this cost savings to our people. It should not be seen as an opportunity for intermediaries to then add this major markup just below a particular threshold, but it is an opportunity to secure people and ensure that, you know, people can afford the goods and they benefit from this measure, truly that which the government has made available to them. So we sincerely plead to their sensibilities to cooperate like they have done so that the people can truly benefit. And we really look forward to their participation and their engagement in fulfilling that responsibility. Mr. Speaker, equally important is the flat tax, where personal income tax rate will now be reduced to 10% across the board. That is something that is transformational, Mr. Speaker. And this, as you would see, continues in the spirit of reducing income tax over the years, broadening or widening that threshold, that period of grace, up to $30,000, and reducing the tax beyond that $30,000 threshold. Mr. Speaker, that translates to more money in people's pockets. Not only that, it is fair. It is a demonstration of equity. When a nurse, Mr. Speaker, decides that she has to work sessions or she is required to work sessions, additional time, and to have that sense that after you have left your home, you have sacrificed your family, you have worked in the day, required to work in the night, and then you feel that sense of having a tax burden as opposed to a reward. These are the wrongs that we are trying to fix, Mr. Speaker, and to rectify at this point. So people can feel that sense that they're getting a fair keep for their hard work. This is what this is about. Mr. Speaker, the responsibility of government requires a profound sense of balance. Compassion without discipline can create promises that sometimes are difficult to be maintained. But also, discipline without compassion can afford you the opportunity to balance your books, but then you can have the erosion of families, Mr. Speaker. The task of leadership is to hold both truths, and we sincerely believe that this is possible to do both at the same time. And this budget truly inspires that great sense of hope, Mr. Speaker. And we see that. We understand the challenges. We understand, Mr. Speaker, that there are businesses based on, regardless of the market research that they do, their business preparation, their business planning, by virtue of some forces that we're up against, the population, that they are at risk inherently. And this bold announcement by the Minister of Finance, I embrace wholeheartedly, that by 2040, we would like the population to increase to 100,000. That is in fact positive, Mr. Speaker. That is showing and demonstrating that we have a true understanding, Mr. Speaker, of the entire economy and what progress should truly look like, Mr. Speaker, a few years ahead. And not only that, it's just not merely a statement, but he has highlighted clearly the path in which he proposes we will get there. And it is something really positive and progressive. One of them, Mr. Speaker, the first I think he announced is the opportunity to have citizenship by virtue of your direct relationship to your grandparent. That is something that many people have lobbied for over a long time. Other islands have done it. We have seen in this recent World Cup, there are some teams who more than 80% of the people representing their national team is by virtue of citizenship through a grandparent or even more distant relatives, giving them national attention on one of the biggest sporting stages. And that's why I recognize, highly a few people who have lobbied for that, and Kenneth Esprit comes to mind. Who was champion for that for a long time, recognizing that, we have some people playing at the highest professional leagues, in Premier League and other leagues. By virtue of this measure, many of them who may not be able to qualify for, say, probably England, who is the number 4 team, FIFA rank, may not qualify for Dominica. This opens doors. I know someone who's 30 years old, Mr. Speaker, who's been to Dominica 31 times. His grandmother is Dominican. His mother was born in the UK. He's been to Dominica 31 times. He owns land in Dominica, Mr. Speaker. Imagine the excitement, the calls that we have received already. This person now feels that he can continue to invest in the development of Dominica. This is what this means. Mr. Speaker, the Dominica Labour Party has a history of intervening when people are under extraordinary pressure. We have proven that time and time again. In the most difficult storms, disasters, we have showed that through education, various reforms, education programs, employment programs. We have seen this. And this is what we continue to do even at this present moment. Mr. Speaker, the purpose of a safety net really is to catch people when they fall. Many people criticize us for social safety nets, but this is in fact what we are doing, showing a side of government that really is steeped in humanity. Basic. And Mr. Speaker, we have recognized that many of our social programs work well. We also recognize that there are some of them that need to be reviewed. And that we will do in the next fiscal year to strengthen what works, Mr. Speaker, to remove duplication, to improve where necessary, to have them even more targeted, to ensure that no vulnerable person in Dominica is missed. This is what this is about. And to create pathways, Mr. Speaker, through which those who are able can graduate and reach levels of even greater independence. These are some things that we're seeking to do going forward. Mr. Speaker, compassion is not merely measured by the number of people who benefit from our social programs. We know that. It's measured by the dignity that we're able to restore. And we recognize that some people will require long-term support by virtue of the age, the level of vulnerability, risk factors, Mr. Speaker, and some will be short-term. Some people require less, just a little push, a nudge, an incentive, that's it, training. But Mr. Speaker, this budget speaks to everyone at every stage of life in one way or another, Mr. Speaker. And that is why last year we would have set aside at least $22 million for children to be educated. Not just that, we're talking about children at risk. Children who need uniforms, who may not be able to afford school shoes, school books, school feeding programs, Mr. Speaker. This is what this government is about, to ensure that despite the circumstance of a Dominican child, they are not limited. Their success is not hindered in any way possible. This is what this government is doing. And we'll continue to invest even with more, Mr. Speaker, by virtue of our allocations in this budget. Mr. Speaker, this budget speaks directly to my portfolio. And the investment in health, Mr. Speaker, is not isolated to merely a sectoral allocation. It's more than that. Because a family who cannot afford healthcare, Mr. Speaker, is at risk. A country with a population that is unhealthy cannot fulfill our true economic potential. We will not find prosperity as a nation. And that is what I mean when I say a budget is not measured simply by lives, not by ledgers, by lines, or not by ledgers, Mr. Speaker. A line estimate in this budget, Mr. Speaker, becomes a nurse who's able to provide care to someone at risk. A capital allocation for us is a child playing on a field somewhere in a constituency, Mr. Speaker, who now can stay out of trouble and feel engaged, Mr. Speaker, or remain healthy, Mr. Speaker. This is what this means. A tax reform for us is a worker being able to take home greater pay. This is what this is about. And we are not simply building projects here. What we are in fact doing is building people. And that must be the measure of this budget. It must be the measure of our service. Mr. Speaker, this must not be seen as whether this government should get credit for what we have done, although we should. But it really must be measured by whether citizens can really feel progress or realize that improvement in their lives. This is what this is about people. Mr. Speaker, the strength of this Dominica Labour Party philosophy is really steeped in that type of belief, that belief in people. It is stories that we hear from struggling people and children, Mr. Speaker. We hear them at our constituency offices. When we grieve with them, when we celebrate with them, we hear their stories, their concerns, their challenges, even where they see opportunities. And Mr. Speaker, having established that human perspective from them, we're able to craft policies that can respond directly to that. Mr. Speaker, every Minister of Health eventually discovers a simple truth, the same truth. The most important work of a healthcare system is helping people to need it less. It took me a short time to understand that, but when I understood that, it humbled me. Mr. Speaker, when I assumed the role as Minister for Health, Wellness, and Social Services, I earnestly thought the focus would have been on hospitals, on ambulances, on big budgets, medicine, and so on, Mr. Speaker. That experience, like I said, it has humbled me. Because today I understand, Mr. Speaker, clearly that health begins way before, long before, a patient ever enters an emergency department. Mr. Speaker, it begins with the choices that we make at the dining table. It begins with education. It begins at schools, in communities, the elderly and how they are cared for, Mr. Speaker, at the village health center, the choices that we make, Mr. Speaker. It may be simply that blood pressure check that someone is able to access at a health center or community clinic on a Saturday at a market, where based on their reading, Mr. Speaker, that in itself prevents a stroke. Even just this morning, Mr. Speaker, the Ministry of Health, we started off with a scare where one of our staff had to be admitted to the A&E, Mr. Speaker. These are things we face every day. Health begins in offices, education, even in chambers like these, Mr. Speaker. That is where it resides. It begins with someone managing diabetes effectively to the point that they can avoid kidney disease and dialysis for the rest of their life, or even a kidney transplant. Mr. Speaker, these are the difficult situations that we face. It begins with the pregnant mother, expecting mother, accessing prenatal care in time to ensure that she avoids complications. Mr. Speaker, this is the responsibility that we have. This is the responsibility of our people. That realization has transformed the way we operate, Mr. Speaker. In public service, I understand the responsibility is great. And in a ministry such as this, Mr. Speaker, there is no other. There is no other. And this is what underpins the way in which we will spend the $75.4 million allocation for recurrent expenditure and the 5.1 for capital expenditure, Mr. Speaker. This is what underpins that realization. Mr. Speaker, no citizen wakes up in the morning hoping or praying to come face to face with our ministry in any way. No one. No mother, Mr. Speaker, wants their child to go to the A&E any given day. No one wants to receive that dreaded news of a diagnosis of stage 3 cancer, Mr. Speaker. No one. The people who come face to face with the ministry are most vulnerable indeed. It's when they face their greatest fears, greatest vulnerabilities, Mr. Speaker, and what they expected to be met with is true compassion, true competence, and be given hope. That expectation is absolutely sacred, because these are people who place their trust in our hands, they place their future in our hands. And for that reason, I've never believed that the success of the healthcare system should be measured by the amount of hospitals we build, the amount of health centers we build, or by the equipment that we have, and we have quite a few. Mr. Speaker, buildings do not comfort frightened families at all, and machines do not reassure you or reduce your anxiety in any way. Concrete does not heal, even though we need it. We need good infrastructure. We have good infrastructure. But people heal people, Mr. Speaker. The strength of any health system has always rested upon the men and women in this ministry who have dedicated their lives time and time again. Mr. Speaker, it is the nurse, the orderly, the cleaner, the laboratory technician, the engineer, the doctor. These people who show up every day, Mr. Speaker, to meet the needs of our people. And they, in fact, Mr. Speaker, deserve our gratitude. But more importantly, Mr. Speaker, they deserve our continued investment. This is why over the past year, we have continued to invest in them. We have continued to invest in increasing and expanding various hospital services, because this really, and primary care services as well, because truly this is in fact the foundation of our health system. Because a country that invests only in hospital, Mr. Speaker, all it does is to continue responding to illnesses. A country that invests in communities, in primary healthcare, then prevents illnesses, Mr. Speaker. And that is in fact our focus. That is what we are building. This is the future of healthcare that we are creating here in Dominica. Mr. Speaker, I often say that the hospital should be the last line of defense and certainly not the first. And if we truly wish that one day to be one of the healthiest nations that exists, Mr. Speaker, our victory certainly will not operate or occur inside our operating rooms and operating theaters. They will occur quietly, that diabetic foot that we are able to treat with, or even before that, the diabetic patient that we are able to manage effectively before it gets this bad, Mr. Speaker. Or the child who is vaccinated, Mr. Speaker. It's the elderly who we are able to provide that profound sense of dignity, Mr. Speaker. This is really where it starts. And the best operation is often the one that never becomes necessary at all. It is for this reason that the government has continued to make substantial investment in primary health care. Just last year, we invested over $7 million in various health and wellness centers, expanding some. We have seen that happening in Maho, in Casa Bruce, in Wesley, and many others. Health centers have opened in this period, Mr. Speaker. We have seen that. And we expect to continue doing the same throughout this next fiscal year, Mr. Speaker. We were hoping that Grant 4 would have started, as soon as the procurement process is wrapped up, which will soon happen. Mr. Speaker, we are hoping that this is something that we can complete. There are other health and wellness centers, Mr. Speaker. While these won't be done this year, there are many of them that, as part of our overhauling process of health and wellness facilities, ensuring that healthcare is brought closer to home, Mr. Speaker, that we'll continue to work on and focus on, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, one project particularly close to my heart, of course, is the renovation, the expansion of the Esprit Murphy Health and Wellness Center in Maho. This is something, a transformation indeed that we are proud of. What you've seen is this morphing from really a health and wellness center type 1 to a type 3, almost like a polyclinic. It looks like a mini hospital now. We're very proud of that. And we are now able to prepare to expand services, to have dental, pharmacy, prenatal care, and so on happening there. And what we are doing, in fact, is to lay that foundation so that we can have Maho be in its own health district. Maho is now part of Roseau Health District. It's the biggest health district where we have 40,000 people. Can you imagine the inequity in this, Mr. Speaker? 70,000 population, 40,000 people in one health district. This is something we need to fix. So we're paving the way for this transformation, this shift. So we are pleased about that. Mr. Speaker, people do not judge our health systems by policies. They often judge them by moments. That is something we've seen. And the moment a doctor explains difficult news or shows compassion, this is what we are often judged by. The moment a frightened child feels comforted by a nurse, this is what truly resonates. Or the moment an elderly patient feels respected or feels loved. They appreciate that, Mr. Speaker. And these moments, that's what defines public confidence, and far more than any report that I give. These moments, these are what truly matters. And while medicine may cure disease, Mr. Speaker, compassion is what really heals our people. And that philosophy is one that's important. And, I really, in fact, hope that while we are doing well in this regard, we can continue to improve in that area so that every single person within our ministry can exude that profound sense of humanity and compassion to impress the lives and affect the lives of our people. Mr. Speaker, this year, the Consultancy to Advance National Health Insurance will move into a new phase. This is something that we would have spoken of in the past. The government would have initiated a pilot program in the past, Mr. Speaker, particularly focused on children. On the 13 particularly, we've seen that move into areas where people require critical care, particularly overseas care coordination and transfer. We've seen that happen. But we want to ensure that, in fact, Mr. Speaker, we have a system that is much more sustainable, one that people can have even greater confidence in, Mr. Speaker, one that gives people that sense of security, that even before they fall ill, that they know that they're covered. And this is something that we'd like to explore, not only for public officers, Mr. Speaker, but all of our citizens in some way or another. And it's not our intention to create any type of new system and displace private sector in any way, Mr. Speaker. But the possibility exists for greater collaboration and cooperation with them, and look at ways and means where this will be affordable to the people of Dominica. So, Mr. Speaker, I'm very optimistic and excited about that for the good people of Dominica. Mr. Speaker, the burden carried by our healthcare professionals is tremendous. It is deep. One decision can change their life. One decision can impact the lives of people. And this experience, it certainly humbles you. And Mr. Public Service is serious, and our hospitals are sometimes judged only by our most difficult days. That's what we see sometimes, Mr. Speaker. And that is understandable. When something goes wrong in healthcare, it deserves attention. We must never be defensive. We must never be closed to that. But we must never fear accountability. We must be honest. And we must always be prepared to improve the way in which we deliver care. But neither should we allow, Mr. Speaker, these difficult days to become the only story that we tell. Because every single day, Mr. Speaker, hundreds of dedicated professionals show up for duty 24/7, 365 days a year, Mr. Speakers. This is where we see babies delivered safely, mortality rates, infant mortality rates decreasing, Mr. Speaker. Lives are being saved, broken bones being repaired, Mr. Speaker, strokes being treated, Mr. Speaker, grandparents returning to their families, Mr. Speaker, patients receiving comfort. Mr. Speaker, this is the Dominica China Friendship Hospital we have. We have seen the most gruesome injuries, Mr. Speaker. Yes, even bike first. Not many, though. Not many. They've been getting better. And Mr. Speaker, we've been able to treat these people and provide care. Never before could we have done that. This is the Dominica China Friendship Hospital that we have. Mr. Speaker, these stories rarely make headlines. We see instead what takes root on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok. We see it. It's very sad, very unfortunate that only the bad stories, Mr. Speaker. But interestingly, we have seen that most recently, that wind is changing in some way. And the stories are being told about what is happening on a frequent basis, every day. The stories are not that of ministers. You won't hear me defending that much, even though I'm asked to. People tell me I should go out and defend. People out in the communities, defend. Mr. Speaker, the voices that often take root are the voices of those who receive care, who receive that saving grace from our healthcare professionals at the hospital, Mr. Speaker, and they are speaking up. They're the ones saying that they've received compassion from the nurses. They're the ones saying, Mr. Speaker, that they had good experiences at the hospital, Mr. Speaker. They're the ones saying that they got that absolute care and due process was done, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, they are the ones who encounter our professional staff on a daily basis, and they are volunteering to tell their stories. And this is happening right now, Mr. Speaker. There's no greater endorsement than the stories of the people, Mr. Speaker. And I thank God for them and their stories. The truth is, Mr. Speaker, all stories deserve honesty. The good ones, the bad ones, the in-between. But they deserve balance. It deserves fairness. Mr. Speaker, real progress is really dramatic. Many times it's invisible. Many times it's almost intangible. But it is the quiet accumulation of thousands of great decisions that are being made in this ministry. It is recruiting one more specialist, training one more nurse, expanding our clinics, Mr. Speaker, purchasing one more equipment, Mr. Speaker. This is what this is about. But all in all, it's a collective, Mr. Speaker. We are getting better, and that has been our philosophy. Not seeking overnight miracles, but lasting institutions. And our investment is in people, Mr. Speaker, and this, in fact, is our greatest achievement. Hospitals do not become excellent because of its architecture. They become excellent because of the talented people who choose to work within them, Mr. Speaker. And we have therefore continued strengthening our workforce. Just this year, we have added and recruited various specialists, and there's been continuing professional development, and we have been developing our international partnerships with various agencies and countries.
20 more minutes, 20 minutes.
Mr. Speaker, we're continuing to grow from strength to strength in this hospital, Mr. Speaker, where we see that there are better opportunities for all who work within our walls, Mr. Speaker, our allied workers, our nurses, doctors, everyone, Mr. Speaker. We're not perfect. We are by no means a perfect health system, but we are one that continues to improve every year and grow from strength to strength. Mr. Speaker, today, more Dominican families can access specialist care here in Dominica more than any other time in our history. And we are living in a time now, Mr. Speaker, when complex neurological conditions are being treated right here in Dominica, Mr. Speaker. That means that not everyone has to leave, Mr. Speaker, and access care overseas anymore. Today, this story of people leaving and accessing care every time, this is changing radically. And for the first time in our nation's history, Mr. Speaker, we are witnessing a spinal surgery in Dominica. Mr. Speaker, we are witnessing brain surgery in Dominica, Mr. Speaker, performed right here in Dominica, and it's not just a Ministry of Health milestone, Mr. Speaker. This, in my view, is a national milestone. Mr. Speaker, we're seeing the transformation continuing to happen. We welcomed a neurosurgeon in Dominica in this last period. Excellent guy, Dr. Kwande. I must highlight him. We have a psychologist, a psychiatrist who returned, Dr. Nesty Tong, an internist, Mr. Speaker, who we welcomed as well, Dominican, and we are pleased to have our people returning to their shores after they have specialized. And even some, Mr. Speaker, who have left. We have two expressing interest in returning, because we often think that the grass is greener on the other side, Mr. Speaker. But when we get there on the other side, that's when we start to taste the hints of the pesticides in the grass on the other side, and we realize that the organic grass is better on this side, Mr. Speaker. So we welcome everyone back with interest in serving or reserving, I'm inventing a word here, Mr. Speaker, to our shores and to our healthcare system. So with open arms, we welcome everyone, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in our A&E department, at least 64 people arrive every day seeking some type of urgent care, Mr. Speaker. 64. Mr. Speaker, every minute matters. And that is why I'm particularly proud that during this year we have been able to open and commission our accident and emergency operating theater right in our A&E department, because every minute counts, every second counts, Mr. Speaker. And that certainly is a major advancement that we must celebrate. Mr. Speaker, we have seen also investments in photovoltaic panels, Mr. Speaker, because for us, while we sincerely appreciate all the efforts in renewable energy, Mr. Speaker, these things, we must highlight these major shifts. But even for us, the healthcare is so critical, Mr. Speaker. We have to invest heavily in our own backup systems. And we have done that over a period. And this year, we have, in fact, invested in a 98 kilowatt photovoltaic system at our hospital to provide backup support. Mr. Speaker, in the last financial year alone, the Dominica Hospitals Authority cared for 47,000 cases, and not patients, not saying that 47,000 people are sick, in fact, but some would have returned more than once, 47,000 cases. But this is still a lot. It is high. It's concerning. Mr. Speaker, in terms of the breakdown of that, it would be from various inpatient admissions, specialist outpatient clinics, and emergency services. Of this number, 5,700 would have been would have required admission to one of our wards, Mr. Speaker, for various types of situations, whether it be medical, surgical interventions, or other. Mr. Speaker, 41,500 consultations with specialists, Mr. Speaker. And, but that also tells something special, something unique, that we are able to provide more care to our people. And we are able to expand the realm type of services to our people. And many of these would have been referred abroad back 25, 26 years ago, Mr. Speaker. So healthcare has truly been transforming in a radical way in Dominica, and we must be very proud of that institution. Mr. Speaker, even in terms of hemodialysis services, we have provided more than 4,600 life-saving treatments, treating people with kidney diseases, Mr. Speaker, keeping them alive. There's one particular case where a gentleman from the north would have been receiving dialysis services at the hospital, and for 25 years, Mr. Speaker. Even in the most advanced countries, we don't often see that. 25 years of treatment. Sadly, he eventually succumbed, Mr. Speaker. God bless his soul. But this is the type of care that we're providing right here, Mr. Speaker. But again, the good news, they don't generally carry like those on that single bad day. But Mr. Speaker, I have the greatest hope and confidence that that will change, and people will get to the point where we love ourselves more. We appreciate what we have more, and we are able to have this greater sense of dignity and pride for and respect for what is in fact ours, because this is ours, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, during this period, the last fiscal period, we have seen a lot of legislative reforms as well. We've come to Parliament a few times to pass various bills, and the Medical Professional Act, Nurses and Midwifery, Mr. Speaker, Laboratories Act, and so on, quite a bit, Mr. Speaker, because we understand that healthcare has various tiers of development. Mr. Speaker, it's a multi-pronged approach. It's the institutions, the equipment, the people, the personnel, Mr. Speaker, and it's the framework, the structure in which we provide that care. So we want to ensure that we have the right backing and legislation to ensure that we allow people to work in an environment, Mr. Speaker, where they can thrive and provide good, high-quality care to our people, Mr. Speaker. So this is what this is about. I want to sincerely thank various partners that we've been working with: PAHO, WHO, OACS, CARICOM, CARPHA, Direct Relief, WPP, and of course the Republic of Cuba, and certainly the People's Republic of China. Mr. Speaker, the Chinese medical team who've been with us for a number of years, they've been providing wonderful help and care to our people. And not only that, they've been building capacity, and that is what we need. Hundreds of Dominicans have benefited from advanced surgery, through the medical mission. And not only that, our health professionals, more than 100, have received professional training in advanced laparoscopic procedures and interventions, and we're grateful to them. Grateful to the Guangzhou Medical University Overseas Training Center, which was established recently right here at our hospital, Mr. Speaker. This is a true testament of the partnership that exists between our countries. Mr. Speaker, we have had the second Medical Mission International mission here in Dominica, where we've seen over 60 people benefiting from life-saving surgeries, Mr. Speaker, and we certainly welcome that. Mr. Speaker, as we grow from strength to strength, we must continue to be aware of the realities which we face, the challenges that we are up against, Mr. Speaker, and we promise that we will continue to improve.
10 more minutes.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, with every responsibility that I've been privileged to carry in my public life, the one that I have the greatest honor to carry, Mr. Speaker, is that of being the parliamentary representative of the Mao constituency, Mr. Speaker. That is one. Portfolios can change, ministries can change, Mr. Speaker. Titles come and go, but the people's trust, it truly matters, Mr. Speaker. And I am certainly grateful and honored for the trust that they have placed in me, Mr. Speaker. And the ability to represent as a power rep is not measured by speeches in this house, in this chamber, Mr. Speaker. It's more than that. It's the simple things. It's the conversations on the roads, Mr. Speaker. It's attending a funeral in Saint-Sauveur yesterday with my dear colleague, Mr. Speaker, the representative from Casa Bruce. It's that. It's grieving with families. It's supporting people, even at their most vulnerable times. It's understanding their hopes and dreams, Mr. Speaker. And this is the greatest honor of my life, indeed. And Mr. Speaker, this is what inspires this budget. It's the stories that I've listened to, that I've heard from all of these people, Mr. Speaker. It is what underpins every line item in this budget to give these people and afford them a better quality of life. This is what I'm about. It's supporting this fisherman or fisherfolk or the farmer with crop insurance. Or, Mr. Speaker, it is the bus driver who now, through this measure of removing compounding, Mr. Speaker, that my dear friend can now afford to buy his new bus. It's these simple measures that are life-changing. It's bringing dignity to the elderly through Yes We Care, Mr. Speaker. To come here today and say, I support these measures, Mr. Speaker. This is what representation, in my view, is all about, Mr. Speaker. It's not about what we build only, but it's who we build. And Mr. Speaker, communities cannot be transformed by government alone. And that's why I continue to ask my people and plead for their support in collaboration, cooperation, to work together to have development within our constituency. Mr. Speaker, this is what I am all about. I support development, and I'm all about partnering with my people from our great constituency to continue to build together. Mr. Speaker, there are a few projects, Mr. Speaker, that I must highlight in my short time. Mr. Speaker, the vulnerable families in Campbell are now in a safer place now, knowing that we have purchased the land. We have purchased the land, Mr. Speaker, for them. We have procured, we have gone through the various stages of planning and approvals for the relocation, Mr. Speaker. We have heard their cries for a long time. And we are moving rapidly, Mr. Speaker, to the next phase, which will be phase 1, where the contractors will actually commence. We have met with the village councils, the resettlement committees. All of this has been done, Mr. Speaker, and we're excited about this. We're happy also, Canefield East, 11 vulnerable families, Mr. Speaker, will very soon, this month, receive the keys to their new homes, Mr. Speaker. This government continues to support housing initiatives because we have seen the transformation of people's lives, Mr. Speaker. This is what addresses the uncertainty that I spoke about earlier. Mr. Speaker, I also think of the Domcrep project, Mr. Speaker, helping the people of Campbell, a $70 million initiative, which will in fact help the people directly. I've had the pleasure and privilege of already meeting with people and sensitizing them on the benefits of resilience for them. We care about Campbell, Mr. Speaker, and we're happy to commence that consultation with them already. And we're really excited about that. For them and the agro-processors up there, this is in fact life-changing. This is the sustainability that we are after. Mr. Speaker, there are opportunities in our Mau constituency because we are very diverse and we are blessed with many natural assets and other assets. The Mau market provides an opportunity for development. The upper floor, that is something that we are seeking to address. At no cost, we have engaged a design firm at no cost, to provide concepts and designs, and we've been meeting with the community, the village council, to give ideas and advice on how the space can be better utilized. We see this transforming into an innovation hub, Mr. Speaker, something that will be more or less like a training ground for some of our people. It is something that will provide a space that can be better utilized, Mr. Speaker, and provide more value to this asset. This should morph this market space into more than just buying and selling, Mr. Speaker. This place has a lot of potential, so we're excited about that. There are many other areas within our community that require some type of focus or attention. We can't do all of it this year in this cycle, but notwithstanding, it's my responsibility as PALRA to just plant that seed, that interest, and consult with people and see a concept, Mr. Speaker. Many things can spur on from that. Say, for example, the Massac shoreline or Rodney's Rock, Mr. Speaker. These are areas with tremendous potential that I am happy to engage on, that we can maybe eventually develop on later. Mr. Speaker, these are exciting times for us. One of the softer initiatives, but with great potential, STEM Girls, an initiative that we had started 3 years ago, Mr. Speaker, for girls in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And we've been able to have them doing various experiments in robotics, Mr. Speaker, the use of concrete. We have done that. We have had the pleasure of visiting the embassy, and our girls are between 8 and 13, where they've been exposed to laparoscopic training and suturing and all of that. And we want to thank the embassy of the People's Republic of China for affording them this opportunity. We also had the great pleasure to take them on a cruise ship, the Celebrity Ascent. We thank the people from HHV Church and Celebrity Ascent. And it's not just a border where you go on a cruise ship, but expose them to the technology and the science behind navigation, Mr. Speaker. This is what this is about. Because when our country speaks about marinas and these developments and the airport and so on, it's not merely doing that, but how do we plan now? So as a PALRA, I see my role as doing that, planting the seeds for students in STEM so we can take advantage of these wonderful opportunities. Mr. Speaker, I believe in opportunities for young people, and that's why we're investing in playing fields. You will see, Mr. Speaker, in a few weeks, the transformation of the Canefield Ballpark, Mr. Speaker, and you will see more being done on the Eddie Tula Park. These are some things that we will soon see. Mr. Speaker, I want to highlight in a special way Thea Lafont, Mr. Speaker, for continuing to take us from stage to stage, tier to tier on the world stage, Mr. Speaker, and she has done a great job. She has demonstrated absolute dedication, determination, and she has been a flag bearer of us, Mr. Speaker. I also wish to highlight young Delicia Julian, Mr. Speaker, raised by a single dad, Delroy Julian, a gentleman, special branch who comes here. His daughter participated in the inter-schools games recently and was MVP for the basketball team, and she received the award in St. Lucia. I must highlight her in a special way. And I know my dear friend who left, the representative for Collier, is boosting his team in Dubla. But Mr. Speaker, we have a team that's much younger, Soca Strikers, who really gave them a run last year, Mr. Speaker, in the finals. And we're trying our best to do the very same again. Mr. Speaker, I wish to recognize some people in our constituency who really are some unsung heroes. And while I'm not just merely calling these names, but it's because we have highlighted them. And this is one of the initiatives that we have had to highlight some people, Mr. Speaker, unsung heroes like Johnson Ababa. Someone like this that we have recognized him, Mr. Speaker, because we see these people as doing more than just offering a service, but nurturing the young, Mr. Speaker, giving advice, counseling people. Mr. Speaker, the bus drivers in our constituencies who have been doing well for us and carrying our people home safely. People like Mervyn Thomas, cricket selectors, and Kenneth and Shane Marshall, Mr. Speaker. These are some people who show up and do much more than just their jobs. And not only that, one thing that's special about our constituency is the entrepreneurial spirit about our people, Mr. Speaker. That is something that has been unique to our Mao constituency. And people like Gilbert and Musai and Al. Mr. Speaker, I had his raisin bun for dessert this afternoon. You should taste Al's raisin bun, Mr. Speaker. And these are some people who have taken the risk to start a business, even in difficult moments. But by their hard work, by their dedication, their persistence, they have continued to succeed. Mr. Speaker, I think these are some wonderful times for Dominica. It's an opportunity for people to continue to prosper. I know my time is up and I don't wish to ask for extra time. So I will end at this point by sincerely saying thank you to many dedicated, hardworking people who've been behind me. The accomplishments of Ministry of Health, Wellness and Social Services are not my own. It's the wonderful people, wonderful staff. It's P.S. Kira Paul. And this ministry is not easy. It almost seems like 6 ministries in one, P.S. Right, like 6 ministries in one. That is what it feels like. It's the SAO, the Director of Primary Health Care, the CMO, the Dr. Centillier, yes. It is the CEO at the hospital, Dr. Kenneth Daru, all the managerial staff, Mr. Speaker, every single one from the doctor to the orderly, the nurse, everybody, my wonderful staff in the community, people who help me. They are my eyes, my ears, they help me to represent people. I say thank you. And to the Prime Minister, I say thank you sincerely. All my wonderful comrades and colleagues, I thank you sincerely. It has been a distinct pleasure of my life to work with you on behalf of the wonderful people of the Commonwealth of Dominica. And Mr. Speaker, I thank you sincerely for being patient with me, Mr. Speaker. I am grateful for your indulgence, Mr. Speaker. I thank my family also for allowing me to serve, Mr. Speaker. I am grateful. May God continue to bless you. May God continue to bless the great constituency of Mao and the wonderful people of Dominica. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Roberts, you are recognized. You may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the honor is now mine, as always, to rise to lend my voice in extending my full support to this year's budget, a comprehensive and inclusive budget that speaks to the heart and soul of this Labour Party government. A government that has always shown over the years that it cares for its people and places them always at the core of its mission. Allow me, Mr. Speaker, to join my colleagues in extending congratulations to the Honorable Minister of Finance for an exceptionally well-delivered budget this year. Mr. Speaker, we all know that creating a national budget is not easy. It calls for dedication to task. It calls for focused attention. And I wish to take the time to thank the people in the Ministry of Finance who have assisted him in preparing this fiscal package. Mr. Speaker, I also stand here with great humility and gratitude to salute the people of Grand Form, Mont John, Rivière, Sirik, Tefem, and Fouel. Always remember Fouel, who for almost 2 consecutive terms have given me the endorsement to be their voice in this honorable House. And Mr. Speaker, truly serving them still remains my ultimate joy. Mr. Speaker, this budget before us is more than just a financial document. It demonstrates an unwavering commitment to our people, a people who have served this government and will consistently continue to support us as a government. It is a budget that brings hope to our people, the people of this country, and Mr. Speaker, we will continue to provide the stability and reassurance to our people, notwithstanding the global economic shocks, the climate crisis, and all the other external crises which continue to derail our efforts and test our resilience. We are a government, as Dr. Henderson said before, that has weathered every storm, and we have emerged stronger and stronger at every time. Mr. Speaker, what we have done and will continue to do is to control our domestic response so that we can respond and protect our progress. And this is why this year the theme, protecting our progress, strengthening our independence, and securing our future, stands as a symbol of hope to every citizen across this island. Mr. Speaker, this budget allocates $13.1 million to the Ministry of Culture, Youth, Sports, and Community Development, a budget which will serve to champion all our grassroots projects and programs spread across every one of our 9 departments in the ministry. Our ministry has always been termed the People's Ministry, Mr. Speaker, and I wish to briefly as I can, speak about our past successes and our plans for this fiscal year. Mr. Speaker, the Ministry of Culture strives on a daily basis to promote and preserve our culture across the island. Mr. Speaker, we always try to preserve our rich heritage as well, and it was because of this we took our people to demonstrate the talent that we have in Dominica, coordinating a 40-member delegation to Carifesta 15 in Barbados, where we proudly showcased Dominica's cultural excellence to our regional peers. I want to take time off this evening to thank the Prime Minister of Barbados, Honorable Mia Mottley, who warmly welcomed and hosted 25 of our young people and giving them a memorable Caribbean cultural experience. Memorable. Mr. Speaker, culture has, and please excuse me Mr. Speaker, so I could refer to my notes when I can.
Permission granted.
Thank you so much. Culture has and will always continue to play an integral role in national development. Our cultural events, be it Carnival, be it the World Creole Music Festival, be it Christmas, be it, which one we have again? Which one coming up? Independence celebrations, breakfast fete, and now even reunions, Mr. Speaker, have always resulted in visitor arrivals and a spike in economic activity in our various communities. So this financial year, we will continue our efforts towards the promotion of culture as a key pillar of national development, tourism, economic growth, and social transformation. We will continue our training in capacity building, building on the natural talent of our young people, while we honor our citizens who have dedicated their lives to building Dominica's arts and culture. Mr. Speaker, during the last budget presentation, government announced that they would provide for an annual subvention to our sporting and cultural clubs and organizations. And Mr. Speaker, I am pleased to report that Cabinet has approved the annual subvention of $52,500 for cultural groups which are affiliated with the cultural division and who have actively engaged in cultural preservation and promotion. They must have been doing that for 5 years or more for them to qualify for that subvention. So, Mr. Speaker, I am also pleased to announce that Cabinet has also, for the first time, approved the annual subvention in the amount of $60,000 for the National Cultural Council. And this, of course, is an authorized body under the Culture Act to develop and promote culture and cultural events in Dominica. This subvention, thank you. This subvention, of course, will be utilized for maintenance, administrative operations, support to artists and organizations, cultural education and outreach, research and documentation, among other areas. Mr. Speaker, I wish to say here that I welcome the establishment of the Creative Economy Development Agency, DCEDA, as stated in the budget. Mr. Speaker, globally, investment in the orange economy has been known to be a multi-trillion-dollar industry, generating jobs and adding to the GDP of many countries around the world. Today, in the creative economy, it's also contributing to 2% to GDP in several of our Caribbean islands, accounting for a large number of well-paid jobs, linkages with tourism, digital technology, and other value-added industries. This sector has proven to be very resilient, a sector that can withstand global shocks, and creatives were known to be able to sustain and penetrate international markets even during the pandemic. So, Mr. Speaker, investing in the cultural and creative industries will provide tremendous opportunities for income and revenue generation in the areas of music, fashion, cuisine, art, design, and other heritage-based sectors. It will stimulate creativity and innovation, especially among our youth, and most certainly, it will help to market Dominica and its rich cultural heritage. The orange economy also has a potential once it is well established and well positioned and supported. It will help in our diversification efforts at a time when we are trying to drive economic and social transformation. Mr. Speaker, we want to move from seeing culture and art not simply as a hobby, but to ways in which we can put real value to the works of our creatives, monetizing the works and contributions of these artists and cultural entrepreneurs, and building strong global cultural brands right here in Dominica. Mr. Speaker, the Arawak House of Culture Rehabilitation Project will continue. I know that's what a lot of people are waiting for. Government recognizes that the Arawak House of Culture is a significant part of Dominica's cultural landscape. In recognition of the importance and the commitment in preserving, promoting, and advancing Dominica's rich heritage. We are of the view, Mr. Speaker, that this rehabilitation will come as part of a broader effort at building stronger and sustained efforts in the creative sector. It will provide a much needed space for performances, for exhibition of cultural goods, and a critical space to accommodate artists as they work on honing their craft, exploring opportunities for greater success and enterprise development. The government has already approved the establishment of a project steering committee inclusive of all our cultural practitioners so they could provide oversight for its completion. The Ministry of Public Works has also been assisting us with tender preparation process, and this is expected to be completed within the first quarter of the fiscal year. Mr. Speaker, the General Post Office also falls under the ministry, and it remains a powerful network that keeps Dominica connected to the world through its philatelic, yes ma'am, services. It proudly showcases Dominica's culture, heritage, and identity on the international stage. Mr. Speaker, we are happy to report that the ministry is advancing its preparation for the renewal of Dominica's definitive stamps. This, of course, occurs every 5 years, and within the first quarter of this fiscal year, we will see the issuance of Dominican stamps, all of which will depict our tourist attraction sites. So our stamps are going international, regional, and local. Mr. Speaker, we have also commenced preparatory work for the post office ceiling, a project that has been on for a while, but then we are moving forward, and we do hope that with the ceiling project, that we can provide a more conducive space for officers and for all those who will continue to conduct business at the post office. Mr. Speaker, we all know that local government is the backbone of community governance in Dominica, fostering resilience, participation, and service delivery at the grassroots level. So through our councils and community groups, we empower our citizens, we strengthen local democracy, and of course, advance development initiatives that enhance the quality of life of our citizens. As we continue to focus and strengthen local governance, the local government division is working with communities of Bells, I'm not seeing the PALREP here, Glogomie, Penrice, Poncase, and Sultan. These places have asked to form a council among themselves in the community, and they are set to become Dominica's 44th local government authority. The recommended demarcation of boundaries has been finalized for Cabinet's approval. Mr. Speaker, we believe in putting resources in the hands of our local mini-government, our councils in communities, and I'm happy to report that the government has provided every single council across Dominica with $100,000 so they can continue to work on projects that are of high impact in the communities and to work in communities, improving the lives of the people in their respective communities. Given the roles that councils play in communities, in mobilizing communities, we are also collaborating with the Ministry of Health, Minister, in the implementation of a national Healthy Village initiative. This seeks to enhance the resilience of communities in the fight against non-communicable diseases, NCDs. Some of these activities include a Village Healthy Living Committee and the establishment of recreational spaces for activities to include physical activity. Mr. Speaker, we are all aware of the high incidence of NCDs among our populace, and of course we appeal to all communities across the island to support our councils and the Ministry of Health in this regard. The ministry, through the Cooperatives Division, remains committed to strengthening the cooperative sector through capacity building and ongoing support for existing and emerging cooperatives. Mr. Speaker, there has been a marked increase in public interest in forming cooperatives, especially in apiculture, a positive trend that underscores greater community engagement and confidence in the cooperative model. I tried to get the minister's attention because I'm dealing with apiculture, and I want him to hear that. Yes. So, Mr. Speaker, the ministry looks forward to the further investment of $1.5 million that government has allocated in this budget to expand the apiculture industry. We want to commend the government for this initiative, given that we have seen an increase in both membership and production in the beekeeping sector, where membership in the National Beekeepers Cooperative alone grew from 45 members to 120 members this year alone, and mainly young people. Yes. Which highlights the expanding opportunities with this niche industry. So thank you so much, Mr. Minister.
Of course, I'll continue to push for you, baby.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, I have come to the section where I must read because this has a lot of numbers that I need to call out carefully. Mr. Speaker, for the 2025-2026 fiscal year, 6 projects were fully implemented as part of the Basic Needs Trust Fund 10 program. Among these projects were the Daily Playing Field upgrade, which was completed at a total cost of $1,138,085.68. And it is scheduled for commissioning within the first quarter of this financial year. The first component of the Soufriere Codshead Fish Processing Facility project, which included the procurement of equipment at a total cost of $360,000 $428.21 has also been completed, and we will see the actual construction of this facility under the BNTF 11 program. Under the BNTF 10 program, we also commenced the Paybush Water Enhancement Project, for which a memorandum of understanding was signed with the Dominica Water and Sewerage Company, DOWASCO, in the amount of $2,167,750. Upon completion, this multi-million project is expected to benefit several communities, including Mopac, Dodan, Bourne, Paybush, and Tebow, and will soon be commissioned later this year. Mr. Speaker, we have been working steadily with the Caribbean Development Bank and our specialist consultant in advancing our BNTF 11 program for 8 approved projects this year. Namely, the construction of the Soufriere Scott's Head Village Fish Processing Facility, $2 million. The House of Hope refurbishment at Delis, $1.2 million. The Rosa Youth Center rehabilitation, $900,000. The Dominica State College Food Court, gazebo, and walkway covering, $480,000. The Grand Forks playing field enhancement, $1.124 million. The Castle Bruce playing field, $1.190 million. The Canal Heritage Park Road rehabilitation, $665,000. And the construction of the Longhouse Public Washroom Facility, $400,013. Mr. Speaker, these projects are to be undertaken at an overall estimated cost of $6,769,013. Thus far, the process of procurement of technical consultants for the design and supervision of the projects has commenced, and we have already had 7 local consultants responding. Whoosh. Mr. Speaker, as Minister for Culture, Youth, Sports, and Community Development, it would be remiss of me not to register my thanks to this government for implementing measures and reaffirming commitment to improving conditions of employment for public officers. During the past year, this ministry benefited tremendously from the creation of new positions that facilitated the permanent appointment of 24 of our officers from the staff at the local government division, the sports division, the cultural division, and several officers within the youth division and the cooperative division. I want to congratulate all those officers and implore them to maintain the same level of dedication and professionalism that they displayed prior to receiving their permanent appointments. And I do hope that they will continue the same level of commitment to service while encouraging others to do the same. At this time, Mr. Speaker, I wish to express thanks to my PS in the ministry, Ms. Letitia Lestrade White, the staff of the ministry, my secretary, Ms. Marva Bell, cultural consultant, Ms. Rosalind Paul, all heads of department, the chief cultural officer and staff, the chief youth development officer and staff, sports coordinator and staff of the sports division, local government commissioner and staff, My guys at the local government department know they come out and help so much. I have to call them out. These are my people working hard. Our 4-H coordinator, the chairman and members of the Cadet Corps Steering Committee. You see, and everybody. Okay. All right, because I won't finish tonight. Mr. Speaker, at this time, I wish to give attention to my constituents of the Mount John Riviere constituency. I know it is late. I hope they are listening, but I'll try my best to reach out to them. Mr. Speaker, I owe them a debt of gratitude for their continued support, their unyielding patience, and enduring faith in this government. And this is what motivates me to continue to work with them and for them. Very loyal to this government. Mr. Speaker, I wish at this time to salute our latest centenarian, Miss Lucille Pascal, affectionately known as Vite Poissé, because she's always running all over the place, who now joins Josephine Pascal as the only 2 living centenarians in Grand Forks. This brings to 16 centenarians that we have already honored in this community over the years. Mr. Speaker, longevity is alive in Grand Forks. As I always say, if you want to live longer, take a trip up there and breathe in some fresh air. And we have started our Live to 100 Cardio Jam initiative for the young and the elderly, and we strongly believe this will contribute to our health and well-being of all our people, whilst at the same time assisting in striving to reduce the incidence of non-communicable diseases. Mr. Speaker, we also recently concluded the Mount John Riviere Civic Reunion, and it turned out to be a resounding success. The speaker is smiling because he joined us in this. Very good. I also want to thank the Prime Minister who made an effort to come to celebrate with us as well. This brought economic growth because a lot of our small businesses really made some money. So much so, one of them called me and said, Miss, it was because of that reunion that I can take a trip with my children for the summer. I hope they don't finish all the money. But Mr. Speaker, apart from that, it brought new life to the community, and this is what made it great. So thank you very much. Thanks. I thank all those who came together to organize, to put it together, the people in the diaspora. I thank those who came from neighboring communities of Grand Forks, Delis. Miss Minister was there as well, Dr. Williams. So it was just a fun time, and everything worked out well. Praise the Lord. Yes, what a wow. Mr. Speaker, during the year, our concentration was in helping people, because we are government of the people, for the people, by the people, and we assisted in every possible way that we could, trying to help with their health, general health, assisting them in every need, helping with schools, support for churches. We did a lot of fun family engagements, supported families in their needs. All this was done so that together we could strengthen our community spirit. We worked tirelessly where it mattered, and especially with the schools and the children with their education, providing their materials needed. I wish to thank the principal and staff of both of our schools for their successes at the recent grade 6 national exams. Grand Forks got both a scholarship and a bursary. That was very good, and I wish to congratulate Rennie and Williams and Amina Philip for obtaining a scholarship and bursary, respectively. Mr. Speaker, this year we'll continue with our skills training in the community. We have started already with plumbing, electricity, cake making, and decorating. Last year we did wig installations. So now I think our young ladies are better able to make some extra income and put some better wigs. And we want to thank the people in the Ministry of Youth and Adult Education who assisted us with those programs. As we move in the new budget cycle, I am happy to announce that we'll proceed with the construction of our health center. The Minister of Health is not present. He's there, right? Yes, and he just mentioned it, Mr. Speaker, but this has been a long-awaited project, and I want to thank him. I had a meeting with the Ministry of Health, and they promised me that they have received the tender documents, and they are just waiting to review it so they can get their contractor at work. So thank you, Mr. Minister. The people of Grand Form will salute you as always. They love you. I don't know if it's your smile in them. Because he came to Grand Form during a demonstration, and they were demonstrating for that very same health center. And the minister came up and people forgot they were demonstrating, they're smiling for the man. So I get in the blows, he get in the smiles. So keep coming to let them see that the health center is coming up. And let it not be said that we ignored this physical infrastructure. We have one or two people who are trying to make the people believe that it's not going to happen. But I trust in my God. And as the Bible says in Habakkuk 2, the vision is yet for an appointed time. Though it tarries, it shall surely come. And that was my vision, and it shall surely come. Thank you so much. Mr. Speaker, Habakkuk. Papa. Mr. Speaker, excuse me, yes, I'm sorry about that. Mr. Speaker, I'm also thrilled to announce the
You can pause for a second, the camera zoom in on you where you blushing. Nice. You're doing well. Yeah,
it's amazing how the Bible causes people to smile, you know. Teacher Bonnie, Honorable Minister, can you please tell them whether... No, it's not old, it's there. Habakkuk.
Proceed, Honorable,
Thank
proceed.
you very much.
Don't be
Mr.
distracted.
Speaker, I am thrilled to announce the official start and approval of our rehabilitation of our playing field in Grand Form, which I just mentioned on the BNTF 11 at $1.194 million. This will provide us with bleachers, washrooms, changing rooms, the whole complete transformation, and of course drainage works. So we are going to have almost like a mini stadium when we are completed. Yes, when we are completed in Grand Fork. I think the same applies to Castle Bruce, so Minister, you can smile as well. What I do for myself, I do for you. I wish to thank the councillors and the other people in the community who helped to support this project. They were there in the preliminary discussions with the CDB officials and of course the BNTF representatives. So we look forward to its commencement very soon. Mr. Speaker, we invest in people. We have been doing that as a government, and we'll look to every way to see how we can make our people better. The same applies for the playing field at Tayam in Rivière-Syrique. I thank the guys who have started the project. They're actually doing it voluntarily, but we are trying to level the field and to give them some lighting so that they can at least play their sports and practice their games even after sundown. Mr. Speaker, the water project is going on as I speak. Of course, we had a slight delay, but the storage tanks have been built for both Grand Fort and Monjon. The distribution lines have been placed, the pipes. It is now going through the testing stage in Grand Fort. With Monjon, however, we had some incident where in carrying the pipes across the hills and valleys to get to Monjon, some of these pipes fell and went down the valley. Of course, I am happy that we had no loss of life. So they are trying to retrieve those pipes. So this has caused a delay for Monjon. So I just want the people to know, because of course we had to lay off some of the workers because no work can be done in the meantime. So I just want them to understand that for now. Mr. Speaker, I won't forget my farmers. I cannot forget them. These are the people who provide me with food on a daily basis, my vegetables, my dashing, my plantain. So, Mr. Speaker, I see that our minister has done a great job in the Ministry of Agriculture. And this year, we are targeting one of our highly productive areas with our Farm Access Road at Newfoundland. Mr. Speaker, this is a place for the past 40 years. Farmers, you know that. Farmers have been engaged there. They have never stopped till the soil, fed their families, sold their crops. 40 years and going, their children have joined. So it's just a place that needed that Farm Access Road. You visited when you were there, Mr. Minister. So we are happy, and they will be happy. To be welcome news to them. And I also want to say too that this is the very place where we are trying to get the land lease for farmers at $1 an acre per year. So Newfoundland is being highly regarded this year, and they deserve it, because this is a place where farmers really are stationed, put it that way. Any other thing? I am also happy for the opening of the abattoir. Of course, more money in the pocket of my people, because they were the ones providing the pork and the chicken. I benefited as well, and I'm happy that it is coming through. So thank you very much. And of course, for the crop insurance scheme, because we live in a vulnerable area. And most times after a disaster, our farmers lose a lot of their crops. So the crop insurance scheme, 1.5 million, yes, fully funded by the government. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, Mr. Speaker, as you can see, the budget clearly speaks to people. Everything in the budget relates to our people, the people that we serve, the people who have consistently voted this government. And tonight, I just want to say thank you to everyone. Thank you to my constituents who have been there, my office staff. As someone said earlier, don't call names in case you forget somebody. So my NEP supervisors and their assistants, whoosh, the people in my groups, the Labor Women Association, the constituency groups, my driver, oh Lord, who is still waiting for me outside every day, every hour, every minute, every other person who assists and supports in trying to build the community. I want to thank you tonight. I want to thank all of you who were patient enough to listen to me. Yes. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank you for your smiles. You continue to push me. Thank you so much, and I fully commend this budget to the House.
Yes, Senator Austell Lockhart.
Lockhart.
Yes, Senator Lockhart. You are recognized, you may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise, Mr. Speaker, to make my contribution to the 2026-2027 budget. And I would say that this budget has my unwavering support. Firstly, Mr. Speaker, I'd like to sincerely commend the Honorable Minister of Finance for his confidence and comprehensive presentation delivered to this Honorable House. Mr. Speaker, over the years we have witnessed a deliberate and strategic actions of this administration to place people at the center of national development. While we continue to undertake transformative infrastructure projects that are shaping both the physical and economic landscape of the country, for example, the construction of the international airport, the cable car project, the marina, we have remained equally committed, Mr. Speaker, to improving the lives of ordinary Dominicans. Mr. Speaker, every credible economic assessment has pointed to the immense potential that these landmark investments, particularly the international airports. One report concluded that these projects are catalysts for economic transformation for Dominica. They will create new opportunities in agriculture, tourism, trade, investment, employment, and small business, positioning Dominica to compete effectively regionally and on the international stage as well. What is most commendable, Mr. Speaker, is while the government is making these bold investments in our nation's future, it has never lost sight of the immediate needs of its people. This budget demonstrates that economic growth and social development are not competing priorities, but we can achieve both at the same time. As we build the infrastructure for tomorrow, we are simultaneously investing in healthcare, education, housing, agriculture, youth development, and social protection. That, Mr. Speaker, is the characteristic of a responsible and sound governance. And this is exactly what this budget is about. Mr. Speaker, someone called me and said, Ostel, this budget has given me confidence. I see opportunities. And it ensures that Dominicans, that no Dominican is left behind. And as we continue our journey to sustainable development, this is the type of reaction that we are receiving from people. Mr. Speaker, I'm happy to note that the government will continue to invest in the people of Dominica by maintaining and strengthening its social programs. These initiatives, they have proven their value. They have proven their value. They have been providing meaningful relief for families and helping thousands of citizens across socio-economic backgrounds. They are available to all Dominicans. And when these governments introduced these social programs across different sectors, there was widespread criticism. Critics claimed that we are becoming a welfare state, that everything is for free, and that the government was creating a culture of dependency. And the criticisms, Mr. Speaker, they went on and on and on. But what many failed to recognize was that these initiatives were part of a deliberate strategy to ease the financial burden on families and individuals and to reduce poverty. By reducing the cost of essential services and providing targeted support, the government was allowing citizens to keep more of their hard-earned monies in their pockets, improve the quality of life, and invest more in their families and into their future. Just imagine for a moment, Mr. Speaker, a family from Pidisufria with 2 children attending Dominica State College. Before the government introduced its tuition-free policy, that family would have had to spend well over $1,000 per semester per child just for tuition. On top of that, the daily cost of transportation from Pidisufria to Roseau and back could easily run between $25 and $30 for both students. Today, Mr. Speaker, the transportation grant that we provide to college students has assisted parents in meeting that obligation. The result is simple. Families are saving thousands of dollars every year. That money can be used to purchase groceries, pay utility bills, improve their homes, support their children, and meet other essential expenses. It was never about creating dependency. It was and continues to be about providing meaningful relief to families. Mr. Speaker, no one is denying that families everywhere are feeling the effects of high prices of food, fuel, housing, and essential goods and services. But in the same token, no one can deny that this government has provided policies and programs to cushion the impact. And Mr. Speaker, that is not something that we have started now. This thing started years ago, Mr. Speaker. For example, the free textbooks and free uniforms started in the early 2000s. The Yes Speaker program, 2009. The NEP started in 2013. The non-contributory social pension, better known as the over 70 and over, started in 2016. And the list goes on and on, Mr. Speaker. All programs get at providing relief to our citizens, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I commend the government on the proposed establishment of a National Disability Affairs Unit. Too often, person with disabilities have been viewed and defined by their limitations rather than their abilities. The reality is, many of them, Mr. Speaker, are highly capable, talented, and productive individuals who, when provided the right support and opportunities, make invaluable contributions to our society. Mr. Speaker, in the office of the Prime Minister, we have a colleague, Mr. Lowick Charles, who is visually impaired. Yet, Lowick performs the same level of professionalism and dedication as any other staff, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, he uses the computer, he sends emails, he travels overseas for work, more than me. He communicates on WhatsApp. Mr. Speaker, he posts on WhatsApp status. Everything, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this is a powerful reminder that disability does not equate to inability. What people with disability need is not pity. They need opportunity, accessibility, and an environment that empowers them to reach their full potential. Mr. Speaker, what we have done in the office, Mr. Speaker, is that we have created a community for Lowick. And when he first came in, we introduced him to everyone in the financial center, from security, the police officers, everybody. And each of us support him, so right now he has a community. And Mr. Speaker, when I entered the office yesterday, they were in one conversation and he had his phone, and he said, Mr. Lockhart, come and look at this. And when he showed me the picture, I said, hey. But I'll not say more because, I cannot talk to my business outside. But Mr. Speaker, yeah. I said, Lowick, yeah, man, it's looking good. Mr. Speaker, the establishment of a National Disability Affairs Unit is therefore a significant step towards building a more inclusive Dominica, where every citizen, regardless of their physical ability, has the opportunity to contribute, succeed, and live with dignity. And I wholly congratulate the government for this progressive initiative, and congratulations to the Dominican Association of Persons with Disabilities. Mr. Speaker, the National Employment Program, NEP, continues to be one of government's most important initiatives, creating employment opportunities and allowing thousands of Dominicans to earn income. Mr. Speaker, I believe in that saying, you never forget where you came from. And I proudly acknowledge that I too was engaged under the NEP. And because of that, I always appreciate the NEP. I show my appreciation, I promote the program, and I support the program. The NEP provides placements across both the public and private sectors, offering opportunities at various levels and across different fields. However, I personally believe that the greatest impact is among the community workers. Why? Because these are predominantly individuals who, under normal circumstances, would never access stable or full-time employment. Through the NEP, they are given the opportunity to work, the security of full-time monthly income, and the pride of earning a government paycheck. A government paycheck. Mr. Speaker, in the Castlebrooks constituency alone, the government pays $485.71 every month in NEP salaries. Boy, that's a lot of money. $250,485.71, empowering families, allowing them to be consumers of goods and services, and making meaningful contribution to society. This amounts to over $3 million a year. And to be specific, it's $3,005,828.52 circulating directly in the constituency. And according to the member of Granby, this is real money in the hands of real people. In Castlebrooks alone. Castlebrooks alone. Castlebrooks alone. Mr. Speaker, this helped families to buy groceries, pay utilities, support their children, improve their homes, and stimulate the economic activities in our villages. This is the true impact of the NEP. Mr. Speaker, the support provided to the NEP extends beyond individuals. The human resource grant component offered to private sector businesses is another practical way in which government supports economic growth. When a business receives an NEP employee, the government assumes the cost of his salary, reducing the financial burden on the employer while helping businesses expand their workforce. It is therefore very encouraging to see the reintroduction of the employment tax rebate for the next 2 years. When this initiative was first introduced in 2014, businesses were eligible for rebates up to $6,000, but under this budget, the rebate has been increased to $10,000 a year. Mr. Speaker, this is a clear and deliberate incentive for businesses to employ more people. And the government is sending a straightforward message to the private sector: hire more people, create more jobs, and we will reward you for doing so through meaningful tax relief. This government understands that job creation is not achieved alone. It requires practical policies, partnership with the private sector, and incentives that encourage businesses to invest in people. And that's exactly what this budget is about. Mr. Speaker, when the Minister of Finance, in grand style, announced the new 10% flat income tax rate, I thought of my many friends and associates who, we have spoken over time about income tax reform and so on. And they have been hearing the Prime Minister saying repeatedly that he does not like income tax. Mr. Speaker, This is a red letter day for the working people of Dominica. This relief could not come at a better time. Mr. Speaker, this is the largest personal income tax reduction in the country in history. This is real tax relief. This is meaningful support for working families. And that is why I wholeheartedly support this measure. Mr. Speaker, I particularly want to encourage the young people of the Castlereagh constituency to take full advantage of the community mentorship program. This initiative is an opportunity to learn directly from experienced professionals, skilled tradesmen, entrepreneurs, farmers, and other individuals who have spent years mastering their craft. The world is changing rapidly, and qualifications alone is not enough. More and more employees are looking for practical skills, discipline, problem-solving abilities, and a willingness to learn. This program provides exactly that. To the young people of Castlereagh, Good Hope, Sandsworth, Pidisoo, Freer, and all the communities, I say this to you: embrace this opportunity. Learn a trade, develop a skill, seek out a mentor, ask questions, and prepare yourselves for the opportunities that will emerge with the international airport, the cable car project, the marina, and all the other transformational investments taking place across our country. Mr. Speaker, preparation, that is the key to success. Preparation. When opportunity knocks, those who invest in themselves through programs like this will be ready. And not only to find employment, but to become entrepreneurs, employers, and leaders in the new Dominica that this government is shaping. This 2026-2027 budget is loaded with opportunities. There is so much contained in this budget, and I cannot do justice, Mr. Speaker, to highlight every single one of them. It's 2010, and I have half an hour, Mr. Speaker. What I will say, however, is that I intend to ensure, with my power rep, that the Castlereagh constituency receive its fair share of the pie. Mr. Speaker, in the Castlereagh constituency, we deserve our fair share, and colleagues will be coming at you to ensure that we get that. Great to hear that. I will again appeal to the young people for the constituency to position yourself to take advantage of these opportunities, because you cannot sit back and expect success to come looking for you. You must come forward. You have to ask questions. You have to knock on doors. You have to apply to the programs and prepare yourselves. Opportunity favors those who are ready. To the farmers and agro-processors in the constituency, the budget has opportunities for you. The crop insurance will be fully paid by the government as a direct benefit to the farmers. To the small business owners, the additional $19 million made available at the Aid Bank for on lending is for you as well. The revised custom duties and other business incentives announced in this budget are designed to help your businesses grow, expand, and create more employment. Mr. Speaker, I am personally looking forward to organizing with the PALREP and preparing for our cross-constituency post-budget discussions. Because I firmly believe that every community, every family, every household, every individual should understand what this budget means to them. From Shosho to Kwekda, Pidisoo, Freer, to Fomble, to Wakama by Douglas, to Formel by Natres and Fitzgerald, the entire constituency, Mr. Speaker, we have to sell this budget to them and explain to all our people what is in it for them, Mr. Speaker. Before I conclude, I want to sincerely thank the Honorable Prime Minister, Roosevelt Skerrit, and his government for the unwavering support to the people of the Castlereagh constituency. When the devastating trough system affected the community in April, just the other day, the government responded swiftly. Ministers, permanent secretaries, technical teams, and other agencies were on the ground immediately, bringing assistance and beginning the recovery process. While the signs of disaster still remain, today there's a sense of normalcy for the communities, and we know that work towards the full restoration continues. I advise all residents to remain vigilant and to continue, as we continue through the hurricane season. If severe weather threatens, please evacuate your unsafe homes, as well as landslide and flood-prone areas. Remember, the Castle Bruce Emergency Shelter is fully equipped to provide a safe and secure shelter for you and your family should the need arise. Your safety must always come first. Mr. Speaker, no government can claim that everything is perfect. Challenges will always arise. But what matters is having a government that listens, responds, stands with its people in the time of need, and that is exactly what this government has done through this budget and continues to do. The people of the Castle Bruce constituency, I want you to know that we remain committed to you. We will continue to advocate for your interests, advocate on your behalf, and ensure that your voices are heard. You can rely on us. I remain steadfast in my support for the efforts of our parliamentary representative, Honorable Octavia Alfred, because balancing the responsibilities of both the Parliament Rep and a cabinet minister is no easy task. It requires tremendous dedication and sacrifice. I commend her for her continued hard work and assure her of my full support as we work together for the best interests of the Castle Bruce people. Constituency, sorry. I encourage everyone who have not yet completed the voter confirmation to do so. And if you are just 18 and you have not registered, I encourage you to register as well. Mr. Speaker, 2 weeks ago, I met a lady in the Kalinago territory, and she told me, "La wale wozo this carried by moi. I poko confirm, please, but I poko show." I understand that. Saying to tell the Prime Minister she had not confirmed yet because things not hot yet. But you don't have to wait for things to get hot to confirm. Go ahead and confirm now, because our teams are ready and willing to assist you through the entire process. So do not hesitate, reach out to us, and as we want to ensure that every eligible voter exercises a democratic right. Mr. Speaker, I am proud of this budget. It is a budget that creates opportunities, reward hard work, invest in people, strengthen businesses, and prepare Dominica for an even brighter future. I therefore give my fullest support. Thank you.
Yes, Senator Honorable George, you may proceed. You are recognized.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Good evening to you and good evening to my colleagues and listeners, both home and abroad. The night is young, Mr. Speaker. So I'm taking the opportunity to express my support, my full support to the budget as presented by the Minister for Finance. And I believe that this budget was a very practical, people-centered budget, Mr. Speaker, because we understand and appreciate all the external shocks that are happening in the world. And what this budget does is that it puts measures into place that will cushion our citizens against all these external shocks, Mr. Speaker. So I want to commend the Minister for his presentation. I also want to commend our Prime Minister and colleagues for the role they played in compiling this budget, as well as the public officers and also the public who had consultations with us in putting this budget together. But Mr. Speaker, I listened attentively to the rebuttal of the opposition leader. And I must say that she wholeheartedly endorsed many of the projects that this government is doing. The international airport, the geothermal, the marina. A matter of fact, she mentioned these projects many times in her presentation, Mr. Speaker, and I suspect that the opposition is on board with the vision of the government in terms of using these projects as a way of empowering and creating opportunities for people. So I'm very happy for this, getting the endorsement from the opposition side in terms of the projects and initiatives that we are doing as a government. But Mr. Speaker, I believe that the opposition can do a little better. I listened to her and I heard no suggestion or recommendation as to, in light of the shocks that we're experiencing, what can a government do to mitigate the shocks? There was no proposal coming from the opposition side as to what we can do as a small island state, being faced with all these difficult times. What is the suggestion and what do you think we can do as a country to go through these difficult times? And the impression we get from the opposition leader is that these external threats are not something that we should be mindful of, or not something that is impacting us in a great degree. So we have the issue of climate change. We have the issue of the rising cost of living. And presenting a budget and not speaking to these areas and these issues, Mr. Speaker, I believe that it falls short on many counts. And the impression we get is that the other side of the House may not be in tune with what is happening on the ground, Mr. Speaker. And so I just want to take a few moments before I begin, just to shed some light and build some context as to what is happening in the global environment. Mr. Speaker, in the United Kingdom, for example, according to the IMF Article 5 consultation, it says the UK is characterized by high inflation, expensive energy bills that leave millions of households struggling to afford daily essentials. In the US, Mr. Speaker, high prices for housing, everyday goods and services continue to strain household budgets. And we know of that, Mr. Speaker, because that directly impacts us because a number of Dominicans receive barriers and other goods from the US. So we can attest to these difficulties. In Canada, for instance, high home prices and surging rental costs make shelter unattainable for many. The ECCU, Mr. Speaker, Dominica, St. Lucia, Grenada, Antigua, St. Vincent, faces economic challenges driven by global inflation, geopolitical energy tensions, and climate vulnerabilities. Barbados faces interconnected economic, demographic, and environmental crises, Mr. Speaker. So I'm saying all this to show that all these countries globally, Mr. Speaker, and I could go on with the list, all these countries share same or similar issues. And at the core of that is the rise in the cost of living, Mr. Speaker. And that is why I believe that any budget delivered in 2026 have to address the issue of the rising cost of living. And that is why I believe that this budget delivered by the Minister of Finance is so very important and relevant and practical for the times that we're living in, Mr. Speaker. So, the issue of cost of living. And just to be clear, cost of living is not an issue that was created by any action of the government. And many times we hear Dominicans say that, it's because of the action or inaction of the government. That is why we have so much inflation and the cost of living is so high. But obviously that is not the case, Mr. Speaker. And we know that the high prices originated from, following the COVID-19 pandemic. Then we had the war between the Palestine and Israel. And then we had the war with the US and Iran, and all these things exacerbated the crisis we have in terms of the cost of living. So these things continue to impact our ability to purchase goods and services. And of course, as a government, we have to ensure that we can put things in place to cushion our citizens against this type of measures. So we have implemented a number of measures, and I must say first and foremost that our social programs is one of the ways which we can cushion against the rise in prices. And many times people believe that our social programs is something that we just do maybe to get votes or to become popular. But if you look at it carefully, Mr. Speaker, you would understand and appreciate that when you implement a social program, when you help a family with housing, or you help a family to purchase school supplies for the child, or you help a family in meeting medical expenses, all these things can impact the quality of life of the family. And indirectly, what you're really doing, Mr. Speaker, is that you're reducing the burden or the cost of living on that family. So this is something that's very important. And of course, all the low-income persons in Dominica, all the vulnerable persons, they have been touched in one way or the other by the social programs that the government is doing. And that is important for us to note. And what this budget does so beautifully, Mr. Speaker, is that we are not saying that we are only cushioning the vulnerable or we are cushioning the low-income persons. We are also putting measures in place to cushion the working class or the middle class. And I believe my colleague said it very well earlier, that many times you hear persons say and complain that the government is only looking after the less fortunate or the low-income people. I mean, that's not the case. That's not the case. But that is something that you continue to hear very regularly, that the government is only benefiting low-income people. And what this budget does today, Mr. Speaker, is that it introduces measures directly targeting the working class or the middle class. And one may say that the income tax reform, for example, might not benefit persons that gain $2,500 a month and less. But what it does, Mr. Speaker, is that it gives the middle class some legroom. And it kind of balances the approach to reducing the cost of living over time, because we understand that the middle class is the one who carries the brunt of the weight for taxes in the country. And taxes are very important. That's the way countries operate, that's the way countries run, by raising taxes and by implementing taxes. And if a government in 2026 acknowledges that, yes, we need the tax revenue to continue to implement projects and programs, but still we acknowledge that the cost of living crisis is something that can be very detrimental to the livelihood of people, we are willing to forego $43.5 million, as the case may be, to ensure that persons can have decent standard of living. And I think that is something that's very, very commendable on this government, and something that is noble, and something that's very practical given the circumstances that we're going through in the world. And then we also speak into the issue of the elimination of compounding. We are a small country. We are very dependent on imports. We don't have the capacity to produce all what we need to survive. So there's a large import bill. And many times you hear young people crying, saying that the custom fees is too expensive and it's prohibiting them from importing what they want to import. And through this budget, we bring in this thing saying that, yes, we acknowledge that that is a problem, and we are trying to fix it. And we're fixing it by ensuring that we can reduce the amount of custom duties that you pay at the customs. And I think that's a measure that can impact not just the working class or the high-income persons, but it's a measure that can impact every single Dominican because of the volume of imports that this country continues to do. And of course, Mr. Speaker, the budget also mentioned, it also speaks to the extension of the VAT concessions. And we have to understand that, especially the low-income people, majority of their income is spent on purchasing everyday items, the rice and the flours and the sugars and the cereals. That's what they use on a daily basis. And we are saying that because these items attract VAT, and because the VAT is a cause of high prices, we are willing to forego some income and ensure that that becomes more affordable for you. So many persons across Dominica, many vulnerable families will feel a difference and understand the difference when they go to the supermarkets and buy goods, Mr. Speaker. And I think these three measures basically captures the essence of the budget. It shows that The government is understanding, the government is compassionate, the government is very empathetic, and we understand that, yes, you're going through difficult times because of the external forces, but as a government, we're willing to step in and ensure that your livelihood can be protected and ensure that you can send the children to school. Mr. Speaker, I'm happy to see in the budget the seriousness placed on the orange economy. And there's no secret, Mr. Speaker, that Dominica is filled with talent, creative industries, Mr. Speaker. And we have to position ourselves to maximize on those talents. And one area, for example, is our Buyo music. I think that the Buyo music has evolved over time. It's more innovative, it's more creative, and as a result of that, our Buyo music has taken the world by storm. And yes, we want to commend all the musicians that played a part in this, especially the bands from the yesteryear, the WCKs who started the whole Buyo thing. And these days we have new artists like the Issa Bantans and the Rios and the Kenny G's and all these guys who continue to play and represent Dominica in the Buyo art form. And what we're saying in this budget is that because of the impact of Buyo and because of the tremendous potential that the Buyo music has in the international community, we want to ensure that we can protect the livelihood of the Buyo artists and the cultural practitioners. Because what you don't want, Mr. Speaker, is a situation where an artist or a practitioner have a very good season or 2 seasons or a very good carnival and independence, and after that, nothing happens and livelihood is lost. So what we're saying is that we're proposing the development of an agency called the Dominica Creative Economy Development Agency. And this agency will lead in putting a framework together to work with the Buyo artists, to work with the creative industry players, the practitioners, and all these persons who engage and involve in organizing events. Work with these people to ensure that their rights are protected. They can understand issues such as taxation, issues such as removing barriers to their trade, understanding issues of copyrights and royalties and ownership of bits, and all these things, Mr. Speaker, play a vital role in ensuring that the industry continues to thrive. And with this measure in this budget today, Mr. Speaker, their rights and their privileges will be protected and that they can better able to exercise and market the trade. Also, Mr. Speaker, in the budget, we made it clear of our intention to implement initiatives to increase our population. And that has been a real issue for us in Dominica for a very long time. And basic economic theory will propose that if you want to increase or if you want to grow your economy, if you want to increase your output and production, there are a number of ways you can do that. One of which is to increase your productivity, efficiency, and innovation. But also, another way is by increasing your population. Because when you increase your population, you have greater demand, more consumption of goods and services, Mr. Speaker. And that is what you want to ensure that there's a multiplier effect in the economy. And by increasing your population, increasing your demand and supply, you can achieve a greater growth. So we're taking this very serious. The government has indicated its intention or its goal to increase our population to 100,000 by 2040. And I think this was well articulated in the budget, Mr. Speaker, and this will be done or spearheaded by establishing a national population renewal and global Dominican engagement program. And this program will seek to address areas such as rebuilding of the resident population, reducing the skills gap, and creating practical ways for the wider Dominican family to return, invest, and settle in Dominica, Mr. Speaker. And one of the things, as mentioned by my colleague earlier, that was very well received by the sporting fraternity is that the intention is to advance the necessary legislation to allow persons with at least one grandparent that was born in Dominica to apply for citizenship. And this has been advocated for many years through the associations, for athletes, for clubs and groups. And the reality is that there are descendants of Dominicans out there in the UK, in Canada, in the US, in France, that have tremendous talent. Unfortunately, they are not able to make it on their national team, but they have tremendous talent. And they would run at any opportunity to represent Dominica. And through that measure, what we're saying is that we are putting legislation in place to ensure that these players are now eligible to play for Dominica and become citizens, Mr. Speaker. And for me personally, this is very important because one of the things we need to do is to strengthen our national teams. Our national team has been performing very well, I must say, especially football, but we need to find a way to take it to the higher level. We need to find a way to progress further in a CONCACAF, for example. And how do we do that? How do we get to a point where we can qualify for a World Cup, or at least get close to qualifying for a World Cup? The small nations, small islands like Curacao did it by using foreign players with roots in Curacao, and they qualified for the World Cup. So how do we get our teams to that level? We can do that by engaging and facilitating Dominicans overseas, or second generation Dominicans, to return home and represent Dominica, Mr. Speaker. But we should not miss the important point, Mr. Speaker, that because of all the transformation that's happening in Dominica, the airport, with the marina, with all these transformative projects, Mr. Speaker, I think now is the best time for Dominicans to return home, settle, and make a serious contribution to the growth and development of Dominica. Come back home and water your grass, as indicated by our minister. Mr. Speaker, the budget also made provisions, as usual, for the productive sectors. And productive sectors are very important. They are key drivers to growth. And many times we hear folks indicate that there is the issue about debt, and try to give the impression that debt is a bad thing, or debt is something that will cause us to collapse. But it's important to note, Mr. Speaker, that debt is not always a bad thing. Debt cannot be a bad thing. Yes, there is unsustainable levels of debt, but debt in general is not a bad thing. If you contract debt and you use that money to invest in the productive sector, that cannot be a bad thing. If you use debt to invest in rehabilitation following a disaster, that cannot be a bad thing, which was the case after Maria, Mr. Speaker. So I think we are one of the countries, we're one of the governments that have a very good record when it comes to managing debt, Mr. Speaker. So I don't think that contracting debt should be a form of any concern in Dominica, because we have a policy where we contract debt, but we use debt to invest in productive sectors, to invest in access, to invest in agriculture, to invest in facilities that will bring returns in the long run, Mr. Speaker. And I think that's very important. I want to commend the Prime Minister and Minister of Finance for the way in which they manage our debt, the way in which they manage the financial affairs of Dominica, Mr. Speaker. Because if it was not for that level of management, we would find ourselves in some problems, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as I'm on the issue of productive sectors, I think agriculture continues to be a pillar for our development. And again, many times you hear the opposition guys try to imply that we're not spending or we're not investing enough in agriculture, which is not the case. From the budget, Mr. Speaker, we heard that from July 2017 to June 2026, $252.5 million invested in agriculture, in livestock, in fisheries, in the infrastructure, in food security. And I think this is the kind of investment we need to make agriculture something very, very successful, Mr. Speaker. And these investments, they come at a very important time, a time when food security is so important, a time when persons start to look inwards, and we have to find a way to feed ourselves. And I want to commend the work of the Minister and the Minister of Agriculture, Mr. Speaker. They have been working really hard. They have been going out there and meeting the farmers. where they are on the farms and understanding what is required firsthand, Mr. Speaker. And it's important that we lay the platform for the further advancement of agriculture. You know, we have the Chinese mission in 1 Mile, you know, that have been providing great support to us and the sector, providing tools and technical advice. And I wanna take some time to commend the Chinese government for this, Mr. Speaker. They have been a real good partner to Dominica and the sector over a number of years. We have a number of facilities that have provided grants to our agro-processors, Mr. Speaker. And one of the things I have noticed in Dominica is that we don't value the importance of agro-processing enough. Because some people still believe that we are not producing or we're not manufacturing. But if you go to supermarkets across Dominica, you will see so many things being produced or being sold that are produced in Dominica, Mr. Speaker. We don't market these things enough, but I believe that in terms of agro-processing, we are doing very well, very, very well in Dominica, Mr. Speaker, and that plays a huge impact in our economy. And of course, we know of the investment in the abattoir, and again, food security is important. Livestock, being able to feed ourselves, being able to ultimately reduce the import bill. That is one of the functions of the abattoir, Mr. Speaker. We saw investments in the fishing subsector. We've seen a number of boats given to farmers free of charge, to fishermen free of charge. Boats that cost a lot of money, supporting the fishing sector in a huge way, Mr. Speaker. We've seen the signature or the contract signing of the Dunkirk project, which will support directly 520 farmers across Dominica, Mr. Speaker. That is significant for developing agriculture. I'm happy to see that in the budget we have allocations for feeder road development. It's very important. Farmers normally complain that they cannot get to their farms. In this budget, we have allocation to continue investments in feeder roads. I know that a lot of work was done last year and the year before on feeder roads, and we've seen an allocation there for feeder roads. And of course, Mr. Speaker, we also saw allocation for the crop insurance, which is a very, very progressive move, Mr. Speaker, because we understand that 50% of the time we are subjected to the threat of a natural disaster. And at any point, Mr. Speaker, the entire farm can be washed away. And you know, for a small farmer in a small village in Dominica, their farm is their livelihood. And just imagine that being washed away in a matter of hours and not having the capital to survive or to gain revenue for a livelihood. So what we're doing, Mr. Speaker, is investing in a crop insurance facility where the government will take the full cost, will bear the full cost of that insurance facility. And of course, in the event, God forbid, of a natural disaster, the government can come in and support our farmers and ensure that they can maintain their livelihood, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, also in the budget, we saw a huge allocation for tourism, very important sector, another productive sector, Mr. Speaker. And again, we have been recognized constantly over the last year or two as one of the premier tourism destinations around the world, Mr. Speaker, and I want to commend the Minister for this. A lot of recognition, a lot of accolades, because we're investing in tourism and we're making strides, Mr. Speaker. But access is important, hence the development of the international airport. We have the marina, the cable car, all these projects, and of course the numerous hotel accommodation, all these projects, Mr. Speaker, combined seek to improve the whole tourism aspect. And of course, we cannot forget, Minister, that we have to pay some attention to the sites. And I think if we can have the sites upgraded, we can seek to ensure that the tourists can spend more money while they're in Dominica. And if we can capture more of the funds from the tourists while they're in Dominica, I think we can be on our way to have a thriving tourism sector, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we also saw a very transformative allocation, geothermal. And I won't go into the technical aspect of geothermal, because that was expertly done by the expert. But just to say that geothermal exploration gives us added buffer when it comes to building resilience. We now are able to see that we can be independent when it comes to providing energy. And we all know too well of the situation we had some years ago where there was a shortage in gas and how difficult it was. And with geothermal, we can see that problem being something of the past, Mr. Speaker. And I think that's very important for us. And again, I want to put on record our commendations to the Minister for Energy, the Member of Parliament for Granby, for really leading this effort in ensuring that we can have geothermal in 2026. I know it was a difficult task. I know it was a task that brought him a lot of criticism. It was something that persons were impatient for. It took some time, but we can see loudly in 2026 that we have made it. And of course, we're going to see the benefits of geothermal going forward. So that's very important, Mr. Speaker. And of course, we have allocations in the budget for geothermal to continue, Mr. Speaker. I want to touch quickly on small business development because I think that's a very important area for Dominica. Because we have to understand that the government is not able to provide all the employment we need. And the private sector then becomes very, very important. And that is where small business comes in. And I can say, with no fear of contradiction, Mr. Speaker, that almost every small business in Dominica can say that they have been touched in some way or other by this party, by this government, Mr. Speaker. Whether it be grants, whether it be concessionary loans, whether it be technical support, whether it be advice, training for DYBT and other facilities, every single small business in Dominica, I am confident, can attest that they have been touched in some way or another by our intervention in the small business sector. And of course, we know that a few years ago we had placed $27.8 million at the Aid Bank for on-lending to small businesses, where it was reported that this amount was used up. Mr. Speaker, as of March 31st, 554 businesses benefited from this facility, Mr. Speaker. And again, from this budget, we're seeing that the government is committing an additional $19 million to place at the Aid Bank to ensure that we can on-lend to small businesses, Mr. Speaker. So I just want to say to small businesses that we are creating opportunities for them. We are investing in them. We are placing capital and funds at the relevant institutions so that they can tap into and ensure that they have the liquidity to develop their small businesses, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as it relates to sports, as I've said before, we continue to invest in sports because we believe that sports is a way for empowering young persons. We understand that in order to excel in sports, it's important to start at the grassroots level. That's very important at the primary schools, in the communities. So we have a very vigorous program at the primary school level where we can nurture these young persons, identify the talented ones, and of course put them in a structured program and try to get them up to the national level and regional and international stage. So that's very important for us. We have done quite a bit as it relates to sports infrastructure. I don't think I should dwell on that much. We have invested in upgrading playing fields, in putting lights on playing fields, in building pavilions and washrooms, in building multi-purpose courts, in lighting of courts. We have completed the lights at the Winter Park Stadium, Mr. Speaker, which is a world-class lighting facility now. And I want to commend the Lotteries Commission for their support in this project, Mr. Speaker. As we know, the funds were provided by the Lotteries Commission. They were very helpful in ensuring that this project is completed. I want to commend publicly the efforts of Mr. Von Rooy at the Electrical Division. He was really involved and instrumental in ensuring that this project is completed. I want to commend Clive Perlway, Mr. Speaker, very hardworking gentleman at the Windsor Park Stadium, very instrumental in ensuring that this project is completed. I want to commend the board of the Windsor Park Stadium, the manager, for the effort. Of course, the contractor, I want to commend him and his team for ensuring that he could deliver on this very, very important project. So we are now placed at a position where we can host night games, and not just host night games, but we have a facility that's one of the best in the Caribbean now when it comes to lighting. So sometime next year. So it's important that we next year, we make use of this facility. Mr. Speaker, going forward, the priority for the Ministry of Sports as it relates to infrastructure will be the synthetic track. I believe that this is one of, or if not the only missing piece for sports in Dominica. And I think if we can do that, we will be well on our way to attain greatness in sports. Just this morning, we got some update from World Athletics. They're planning to visit Dominica this month. We have begun the process of tendering for potential contractors. Very soon we will conclude on that. And of course, we will take it from there to ensure that we can have a top-class synthetic track at Point Round. Obviously, we have decided to include an Olympic-sized swimming pool. We have decided to include some residential homes for the athletes, some recreational areas, administrative complex, and stuff like that. So it's a stadium, basically, Mr. Speaker. It's a stadium, and that's why this project takes some time, because a project of that magnitude, you have to do the required testing, the required designs, the required certifications. So this last financial year, you will notice that we spend quite a bit of money in engaging a consultant to develop the plan. Going on site, doing test pits. We did up to 12 test pits on site, ensuring that the concept is finalized based on the characteristics of the land and the soil and stuff like that. So this consultancy was successful. We have a master plan now, which will be the basis for us building this facility at Point Round. And as I said earlier, very soon we will seek to engage contractors, and of course that will coincide with the visit by World Athletics. So I'm very happy for this, Mr. Speaker, and I think that will be the icing on the cake when it comes to sports. Obviously, we continue to recognize our athletes. I think that's very important for motivating our athletes. One of the days where you played sports and you receive no recognition. These days, when you play sports and you excel and you represent Dominica well, we recognize you in a huge way. We give you financial recognition. We give you a piece of Dominica in certain instances. You're promoted to ambassadorships. And of course, we make you feel good, because we need to celebrate our athletes, because they're really representing us well on the international stage, Mr. Speaker. And as I said earlier, Mr. Addison James, our gold medalist from the NACAP competition earlier this year, we will seek to appoint him as a sports ambassador effective September, Mr. Speaker, and we will also give him a monthly allowance to ensure that he can get prepared for future competitions. And of course, Fia Laffer, again, I congratulate her for her gold medal, Danny Luke and Jasmine Schofield. I also want to congratulate and recognize the contributions of Kavem Hodge and Ali Afanaz. They are now international players, Mr. Speaker, but they continue to represent us and represent us well at the international level, especially Kavem Hodge. I also want to recognize Usinio Fontaine, who represented the West Indies under-19 team, Mr. Speaker. And he performed well. And of course, the Dominica under-19 cricket team, they were champions, back-to-back champions in 2024 and 2025, respectively. So, Mr. Speaker, the performances of our athletes and teams continue to boost our country on the world stage, and that in itself represents a huge source of inspiration. And of course, we congratulate them, and of course, their coaches, the support staff, the members of the Dominica Olympic Committee, the various associations, the Sports Council, the Sports Division, all those who play an important role in this, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I also want to recognize the efforts by the Youth Development Division, Mr. Speaker. The Youth Development Division continue to play a very important role in developing young persons and young talent in Dominica. So, so it's important to recognize their contributions, Mr. Speaker. And over the last year, 238 young Dominicans were trained for programs at the Youth Development Division. Obviously, that's excluding DYBT, but we continue to implement a number of programs that will build capacity among the young people. For instance, over the last year, we implemented programs in coding and game development, digital device maintenance and repair, videography, online public speaking and leadership presence, heavy equipment and truck operation. I think that course in particular was very important, where we got young persons and exposed them to operating heavy equipment. And I must say that this program was heavily subscribed. We actually received over 300 applicants for that program, and we could only take 30. Yeah. So we decided to do it in this coming financial year again, Mr. Speaker, albeit it might be at a different location. But I think persons are very excited for that area in terms of operating heavy equipment, Mr. Speaker. A lot of young men across Dominica are very keen on getting involved in that aspect and that training, Mr. Speaker, because they see the value, and of course they see that the number of projects going around that's demanding heavy equipment operators. So they're very interested in that. So again, we will continue to do that again this year, Mr. Speaker. And of course, we continue to engage young persons. And in the budget, Mr. Speaker, it was mentioned of the community mentorship program, where we will seek to partner with the youth division, where we can have a structured mentorship program at the community level. Because there are a number of persons at the community level that have many good resources to give to young people. You know, retired persons with expertise in different areas. So we're going to bring these people together in one room and expose the young persons to their stories and to their advice and mentorship to ensure that we can build a cadre of young persons that are integrated into society. So, Mr. Speaker, I just want to commend all the players involved in the last financial year. It was a relatively good year for the ministry in terms of implementation. But for me, it's more than just implementation, because implementation only captures capital projects. That's concrete and mortar. But a lot of things are happening outside implementation rates. A lot of things are happening in the skills training, and that is not reflected in implementation, right? You know, mentorship, skills training, opportunities overseas, all these things are not reflected in implementation. Implementation is limited to concrete and steel projects, Mr. Speaker, and I don't think that's a good measure of any ministry, Mr. Speaker. But nevertheless, I want to thank the entire ministry for the support. The PS has been supportive. You know, it's a very large ministry, a lot going on a daily basis, but she has been able to manage it and manage it very well, Mr. Speaker. And I want to commend all the heads of departments for their consistent efforts over the last year. The council, the Windsor Park Board, the NYC, JCI, all the youth groups, Mr. Speaker. I want to commend them for the partnership and support over the last year. And just to say that the reward for good work is more work. So we'll continue to work to deliver all the positive things for young people across Dominica. So I just want to say, Mr. Speaker, finally, that this budget is a very practical budget. It's focused on people. It's focused on addressing the key issue of the cost of living measure, which is a problem that's not just in Dominica, but it affects the entire world, Mr. Speaker. And this budget puts measures in place to safeguard the livelihoods and the future of people, and to ensure that they can have more disposable income so that they can address their everyday needs, Mr. Speaker. So it's very relevant, and I fully support this budget, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much.
Mr. Speaker, I move that this honorable house be suspended and adjourned until 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. That is the 7th of August.
It has been moved and seconded that the House be adjourned until 10 a.m. Friday, 7th August 2026. Those in favor? Those against? The ayes have it. House stand adjourned until 10 a.m. Friday, 7th, 2026.